Yeah, okay, recording is on now, and I've never used this Caster
Hmm.
before, so this is the first time, and it's a little bit of a test also for me. Let's hope it works well.
Let's see how it goes. It's fine.
Yeah, and this podcast is called Panu Musakka podcast. This is the first time we are doing this in English. All the other episode has been in Finnish. Now we have here special guest Milda Latakaite, who has been my personal coach for a year. Am I right?
Yes, we have celebrated a year lasting, awesome, getting better relationship a few weeks ago. I think. Yeah, it is a year. It went fast, right?
Yeah, yeah, it has been fast year. Uh, I hired you from Tony Robbins team, and and yeah, the first question I want to ask: your name is Milda Latakaite. How do you say your name?
It's like it's really well pronounced, Milda Latakaite. It's
Okay,
both name and surname. They're Lithuanian, and not everyone has a really easy path pronouncing it, but you do it pretty well.
okay, it's pretty much the same as we speak here in Finland. uh, at least this name is pronounced pretty much Finnish way. So you are part of Tony Robbins' coaching team, am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. As many other things that I do in my life, I'm really be proud to be part of Tony's team.
Yeah, this is very interesting, and this is nice perspective for this conversation. I think we could spend here hours talking
Mm.
about all kind of things, but let's see how it goes. You said you do a lot of other things also. What other things you do?
Well, like as I'm laughing today that my life is everything but simple. So whenever I try to speed up, it kicks me in the butt and tries to slow me down and says not yet, soon. So I tried many things. I live in Norway today, though I'm born and raised in Lithuania, and this is where all my stubbornness is coming from. This is where all my fighting for the better is coming from. It's like also from my family. But I moved to Norway in order to try to find myself after many years of studying, not being able to connect with what I decided to do as a profession, and making a decision that, well, maybe it's not me. Putting everything on pause and moving to another country. And there the path started. I studied environmental management. I planned to be in that position. I traveled a lot. I still travel a lot. Like that's one of my passions is to discover the world as much as I can. I tried my boots into teaching, and still I do teach some of Lithuanian minority children in Norway, help them to integrate here, help support them to find their own place. You name it. I went into health sector to support some elderly people for a while. But continuously whenever I also I'm a self development trainer, so an informal skills trainer, and coaching was always somehow, somewhere in the shadows, walking with me together, more or less through more than a decade, since the moment that I realized what the coaching is and that I really connect with that. So like all in all, I tried many things throughout my life, but coaching was always somewhere in the background, understanding that one thing that I really want to do is to help people, to as also call it paying it forward, helping people who helped me and or whoever needs me. So in order to share the gratitude that I received once, support that I really needed to receive. That's the reason why I'm a coach. I just really want to support everyone who needs some slight kick or hug or advice or an insight or a good question.
You said you fell into coaching when you understood what coaching is. Did I understood right?
Well, like everything, funnily enough, started with Tony's book. So, like once upon a right after I moved to Norway, I started learning Norwegian. That's one thing that I really wanted to do, is to learn Norwegian before starting having a look if I can find myself here. So after 1 year of intense the language studies, I started working here and there. And during one night, being awake, I read the book. I don't know how it ended up being in my laptop as a Kindle book, but I found it there, and I started reading a book which was Unlimited Power. And there I was through that book I was introduced to coaching, and that Tony Robbins book, the first book he wrote. And he talked a lot about what the coaching is and why it's so important. Somehow it rang a bell, that's me, that somehow I understand how it works, I understand what's that, and I understand how important it is in the world. So this is how it felt into me, it's like it was like 2011 or something. It took a few years to understand where, like, that I really want to be a coach. On 2014, I think, if I recall right, I even stated publicly in one of the events, in front of a few hundred people, that I'm going to become a coach. I still have no clue how I'm going to do that, but that's me, and I'm going to do that. A few years later, I was already freelancing as a coach, practicing my skills and getting better one step at a time.
Um, so why are coaches needed in the world?
Well, that's a really good question, right? Like, so many questions are received about, like, what the hell is coaching, and why do you need those people there? Coaches, somehow this friend who is walking together with you in a jungle, and the jungle might be at some points in your life, jungle might be really easy to navigate. Sometimes it's just like it's a mess, and it's good not to be alone. It doesn't mean the coach knows all the tracks. Coach knows how to find the tracks and how to discover, recognize the signs of where is the track. And we are walking together, discovering and getting, failing together, discovering the different areas in that jungle, which is obviously your life, and seeing what's the place that you want to discover more, or turn to left or right, or which is the one, like, filled with tigers and lions. And at that point of time, they might be not your friends, or maybe this is exactly what you want to face. So it's an adventure, and the coach is the one who's going to ask you the questions, not necessarily the comfortable questions, but we'll ask the questions filled with the curiosity, with the purpose of support you in becoming better. I'm saying, like, none of my clients are clients. I don't call my clients clients anymore. I'm calling them my partners in crime, making lives better. So we are partnering, into this teamwork. It's like there is no coach knows what to do. There is a teamwork discovering what works and what doesn't work for you, in order to be a tiny bit more, like 2 millimeter shift, 5 millimeter shift, you name it. So we are supporting. We are
Hmm.
supporting in this really busy world, which is really fast and busy, not to get lost, or when you're getting lost, to get your tracks back.
Hmm. And to my mind came this question that when coach is part, it's like partner in crime, let's say, but coach is still often hired person to
Yeah.
do coaching. So it's different. It's a little. It's still for me. I'm also a coach,
Hmm.
and for me it feels still there is difference between friends and peers and mm, partners. I don't know if
Hmm.
we call partners clients or not, but I still feel it's different kind of a relationship when there's money involved in it. How do you feel about it?
Mm. Like, there are many different ways how to look at it, and we, from coaching perspective, we look in many different ways. We face our challenges and rewards from our side. But if talking from the client side, how I see it, because we are product of the product as coaches. Like, we believe fully in walk the talk. If you're coaching, have your own coach. And
Hmm.
in order to be a product of the product, and to be really fully be able to serve for your clients. And well, like for me, how I'm explaining this investments, like money in our world or some kind of financial investment is a symbol. Is a symbol, is a tool showing, our readiness to grow and our readiness to seek for something. And all of us, we have different level of readiness. This is why there are different prices of coaching, and why there are different professionals. One will be ready to pay $100,000 for the session, and they will be waiting for a few years for Tony Robbins himself to be coaching. But that's a different kind of investment, right? Or they will be paying few hundred euros for the coach, or they will be paying 10 euros for the coach, knowing that
Mm-hmm.
investment also bring, it's not necessarily that bring the quality of the coach. There are wonderful coaches everywhere, but also it will most probably show the accountability that you're creating. That like, this is why when you're deciding what coach to have, I'm usually saying, have have a coach in a place where it's going to be a challenge for you and a stretch for you to get the coach, because then you're going to freaking push and pull everything that you can get out of it in order to get worthy of your investment, because that's a symbol of how much are you ready to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, paid partnership, I think it's like, it's kind of return of investment. You're paying for the service, as we all like paying for one another service, but you're getting that service in uh, in return also of yourself being ready to accept it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you said about sometimes not so comfortable questions, and I have felt many times you have asked me questions that I haven't felt comfortable answering. They are like sometimes, yeah, sometimes they are
Mhm.
very uncomfortable questions, and often I feel like I don't know the answer for the question, and really that's not, many times that's really not the case. The case is that I don't want to answer the question,
Mhm.
and when I answer, I think some kind of a growth happens. And mm, when I hired a coach from Team Tony Robbins, I was asked that what kind of a coach would you like to work with? Do you know what I answered to that?
It was a year ago, so I need a reminder.
Yeah. But just I, d- I just mean that. Do you know when someone is coming to you? Do you know what is he or she waiting or asking or expecting?
Mhm. Like, look, there are many things that are happening throughout the relationship. It depends how long it is, right? In a coaching, some clients stay for a few weeks, and some clients stay for a few years, and longer we stay together, different and stronger relationship towards breakthrough is being developed. And yes, like what we are receiving, like beautifully in this community, what we are receiving is all the information that you're providing us, and to be ready to understand who you are, and like at least to grasp, because
Mm,
the power and the challenge of the coach is understanding that you will never get your clients fully. So it's a different life, it's a different personality, it's a different mental map. What we are trying to do is like really to understand you as much as we can to support you. And that's why all those questions and forms are being filled, is like really to understand you, and to get to know where you are at that moment when we are meeting. And like, while your body is rewiring yourself each month, and it's like, and you're a copy of yourself like after 30 days physically, because all your
mm-hmm,
cells are regenerating, it's the same with your mind. Like, you are the clone of yourself already. So I'm just also wondering, comparing with what you wrote back then, it's like, how do you see yourself now? It's like, do you discover this how big and how different do you feel today, comparing with where you were back then in a year ago? And did your expectations change? Did something change? That's also, it's a really interesting question to pick on.
mm-hmm. I asked I want to tell you I asked
Hmm.
charismatic and coach who's willing to push me to results but loving way. I didn't want someone just to say that you need to get your ass off from the sofa and do something. I because I think that's really what I needed to do. That's really I needed to do something differently. But it's not always the best way to just say that you're a fucking lazy ass and you need to move your your ass. What do you think of that?
You know, again, like every client needs a different approach. And like that's why like company here that I'm working for is doing the best to compare like what's a client and coach fit to provide you what you need. Sometimes, you know, like a totally different personality might end up with you, but also it will we are masters of adapting towards the client and really seeing like what do you need, what's your path and what's your personality that they can support. But some like and that's why when I'm introducing myself to people, to new people, I'm saying I'm really loving and caring. Like I care about my clients as like, you know, as about my own life, and I will do a lot about you, but at the same time I'm really straightforward and tough. So it
Mm,
depends, you know, like what you need at that exact moment. I can give you love and I can give you tough love with a
yeah,
grin.
yeah, and I'm very happy about working with you this year,
Oh, thank you.
and I've got what I was after, and the breakthrough was actually, I think this it's very funny because I was talking about with you the same subject every week, like every 10th day we have been meeting, and I have been talking about this same subject, same shit every time. And then few weeks ago I was full of it. I was just renting that it's enough. I have told you the same things from week and week and week, again and again and again and again. And how do you keep your patience with clients like this, that they are talking the same shit every week?
Well, like, you know, there is this trust and belief that you exactly go through the process that you need to. And, you know, and everything that I can do, I can be here fully for you and I can challenge you. I can challenge you to discover different aspects. So, you know, like you are here, right? And again, like if you are coming to the metaphor of the jungle, we are here in the middle somewhere. And, you know, obviously for some, but not us too, the road is straight, like it's there. That's obviously because it's open and it's like sunshine is there and everything. But you know that you are so focused on discovering every peak of everything there, or just turning around in one place, that you need to exhaust yourself, or your mind, until the moment when you're reaching this moment, this bottom of like, I don't want this anymore,
Mhm,
like an understanding, getting frustrated, getting annoyed, and then it's like saying, yeah, that's enough. It's like, you know. And sometimes you saw like sometimes it takes a few sessions, sometimes it takes few months to really be stuck, and like and be annoyed and stuck, and go through this process until you get unstuck. Everyone has their own breakthrough journey, and sometimes, you know, it lasts 2 seconds, and sometimes it lasts few years, and who knows, like. And that's why it's like I'm coming back to, like, as we coaches say, we don't know how long coaching process might happen, and we encourage to continuously have this conversation about, like, what can be next, what's your journey, what are you receiving from coaching. Is it that's it, you done, are your goals done, is there something else, are you just frustrated and want to cut everything, or can we just push through it and be patient and to see what's in other side of the line. So patience, you know, and believe that you are going through the journey that exactly you need to go in order to get your breakthrough.
mhm.
It's like the most
Because
important thing is not giving up, you know, like finding
sometimes
your breakthrough.
sometimes when I work as a coach, I feel very frustrated with the clients when uh, they don't make breakthroughs and they are stuck. And as a coach, I feel so much frustration because I can see their mm, limiting beliefs, and I feel like I don't have anything to do to help them. I don't have, there's nothing I can do to help them. I feel like helpless with them.
And that's exactly probably what you need not to do. It's like to help them. It's like you're just ask the what they would need exactly. Like what helps for me is just really asking, what do you need at this moment?
Hmm.
And is it a conversation? Is it a breakthrough? Is it an action plan? Like what are you ready to do to do today? And really, the first and most important thing is like person will not get unstuck until one is realizing that one is stuck.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. And this is also very interesting conversation for me because for a year, every 10th day, we have been talking with you about me and my problems and solutions for the problems and my future. And I I know I don't know, like, I know you live in Norway and I know you are amazing listener and you are very wise and smart, but still I feel like I know pretty little about you, and now I have a
Mhm.
opportunity to ask questions from you. I feel
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
interesting.
You can have the questions and you can get us like what's the behind the coach, right? Sometimes as we
Yeah.
are personalities who are connectors, we like those individualistic persons who like really need to connect is like we want, like I'm the same, you know, like I want to hear about people. I care dearly. I want to learn. I want to be friend of everyone. And I realize sometimes I can't be friend of everyone, but that's okay. It's a different learning journey. Yeah, it's having different hats. I think that's what helps. You know, there is a Milda coach hat who is coach, you know, it's there. And it's like there
Hmm.
is a different kind of hat existing there and there. And having an awareness that that hat exists in a different environments probably would bring quite a different approach towards communication, knowing that I'm going to be always a coach in that half an hour that we have a call, right? Because that's my hat, that's my responsibility. Though like if you need a friend's call and just to ventilate or to share something, I'm going to be the friend that you need to have a talk with, have putting a different hat on. Like that's also, I think at least this is how I perceive power of the coach and the challenge sometimes of the coach, because sometimes you are getting lost in coaching everyone. That
Hmm.
like especially when people are not ready to be coached and we're just finding random people on the street and start talking
Hmm.
coaching
Yeah.
conversation. But it's like the power is in shifting the hats and understanding that, you know, there is a coach hat and there is a person hat and there is a friend's hat and there is like brother sister's hat that we are putting on. It's not necessarily, sometimes those hats combine, but not always.
Hmm. Uh,
So here,
okay.
while you're thinking about, like, I can tell you a few things. I dearly love
Hmm.
dogs and cats. I love it like so much that when I meet dog on the street going with the owner, I'm going to say hello to the dog first, and then I will say hello to the owner. Like that's how
Hmm.
much I love animals. Like I'm truly animal lover. Like
Hmm.
I melt in front of them. So you know one thing you know about me now.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I was thinking of the question to go next, but okay, it doesn't matter if it's not exactly the perfect question because there's
Life is
no
not perfect, no,
such
but
thing
that's
as
okay.
perfect. But and I had something in my mind while you were talking, and I find it sometimes difficult while listening to someone, and there pops a question while other one is talking, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to ask this question, and then I want to also at the same time be in this moment and listen to the other person,
Hmm.
and be present. And then when it comes to my turn to speak, I don't remember the question anymore, and I feel like a little bit sad and fear that okay, I lost it. What do I say now? But always, uh, I'm professional, so I find a way, and I can talk endlessly about anything. And the question is that how did you become coach of the Tony Robbins team?
It's a good question. It's a path. I think like from today, I reflect a lot how I ended up in this place, and I think that I ended up in the exactly place and time when I needed, and but also it's based on the hard work because I worked my ass off for to become a really good coach, and it's like I don't take it as a title. Like I decide to be a coach and I am a coach. I am this kind of coach and this kind of coach. What I did, I'm my personality loves cracking codes and understanding things and like really diving deep. So what I did since the moment that I decided to be a coach, first I started diving into the simple practice, and then further I went into the knowledge of this like deep knowledge and deep learning of what the coaching is, reading tons of the books, then going through the really crazy courses. So like the biggest breakthrough I think when we talked about money was for me paying first time in my life after my studies, after my decisions to change the country and facing financial instability and uncertainty. I paid like for the first time. I think the biggest breakthrough was I paid like, for the first course. I think like $4,000 or something for the first coaching course that I had. It's like really serious one, and it was so scary for me that I came with the excuse to ask to split it in four parts and pay 1,000 at a time, because it was so freakingly scary to give 4,000 for me at that moment. Today I'm just like I see it in a totally different way. It's just like it's an investment of myself, like I am ready when I'm ready. But that it was like this limiting mindset. But what the beautiful part was, the first time I did that, it's like I chose the course that really resonated with me. I went to that course, my personality transformed. I started like having this process of deep dive into myself, understanding the leverage of if you want to help others, you need to help yourself first. And while at the same time doing that, diving deeper and deeper in what the coaching, the quality, the high ethical coaching is. So I went through many different, and today I'm saying I have many different fancy titles to call myself around, but I don't use it because I don't like to be fancy. I'm really hands-on and I'm really simple human being. So I try not to use any fancy names that I have, but also like as now it's like Milda is cool, like, and Milda is going to be here for you whatever it takes, like that's my title. And um and so, so it was a journey since the moment that I claimed that I want to be a coach, since 2014, right? And somewhere like I had like in 2014, by the way, I had a really really bad time. Like I was confused. I stated this huge statement and I had no clue how to do it. And when I promise, I keep my promises. And even if it breaks me, even if I don't know, like I'm getting so totally lost for a while. So I had a coach back then who is a good friend of mine today, and he said like, Milda, let's write everything that you want to participate in or to read the books or something that would inspire you and allow you to grow as a coach. And I wrote down, because I remembered I read Tony's book, but I had no clue what he's doing. Like I knew there are courses, I knew he's doing something, but like somehow it did not came into my mind to Google it. So I was just like, I have no clue what he's doing, but I will write, I want to meet Tony. And it was, I think I wrote it in 2014. In 2000, in the beginning of 2017, I see the ad in Facebook, and the ad in Facebook is saying Tony's trainer is coming to deliver the free workshop in your town. Register now.
Mm.
How ridiculously it sounded and how crazy it sounded that as universe would be landing opportunity for you is to understand that I live in 45,000 people city. So it's not big, it's small, like, and somewhere in Norway, right? And the freaking Tony Robbins trainer is coming to deliver a training for you. It's like that's an opportunity dropping in your on your head, and if you're not taking that opportunity, you are stupid. And so I was just talking with myself, so I registered there, and it was a beautiful beautiful 3 hours workshop with this amazing trainer Alan. And there they were giving opportunities to go to UPW, which is Unleash Your Power Within. And this is how my journey with Tony started. I started participating in the first event, and then like I was a serial crew member. I was really active in the community. COVID started. COVID provided me challenges, but also at the same time opportunities to participate in all his events, because the traveling was not an issue anymore. Everything was virtual or blended, so I could participate in all his awesome events from the comfort of my home. And there, somewhere in those where I was crewing, I remember this awesome, like our awesome legendary Tad trainer Tad, who came and said, "There are some coaching opportunities. Like we need coaches, and we have calls once in a while. Whenever team needs coaches, we have a call for the academy, and keep an eye on it. Now we don't have it, but keep an eye on it whenever it comes." So it came in 2022, I think. Yeah, it came 2022, and I applied and I got in. I had no clue what that academy is. It was super scary. I already was coaching as myself, like I was independent contractor. I was freelance coach, and I was applying to it. I got in, and the requirement for this awesome coaches academy is 100% of participation, so you can't skip the days. And for the one of the part of the coaches academy, I had my nephew's baptism, so I was becoming a godmother of the little boy. And I was telling them, people, can I pass one day, because like there's only one day I need off from that particular time, and then I'm coming back fully. And I got a reply: "We really understand the family matters a lot, so what we propose for you is that you will not be participating and going through the process this year, because 100% is 100% that we are requiring, but you're in. You can join us next year." And first, I was really devastated. It's like, what the hell? Like I am fully delegated. It's just my godson that I need to baptize. So
Mm-hmm.
what's that? But when I joined team year after, when I went through this process of really going through. I'm not going to spoil for anyone who maybe one day decide to join. It's like this amazing few months lasting academy that you are going through in order to join Tony's team. And I went through it, and I realized while going through it that if I would be there 1 year ago when I was baptizing my godson, um, I would not be ready. I would not have passed everything. I would not be joining Tony's team, because I was not in the place where I was ready to be there, and to join this awesome community. And at that exactly moment, I realized that sometimes, again, like everything happens for me not in a pace and not in a moment that I need, what I want to, but exactly it happens when I need to. So like, all in all, long story short, like like how my coaching journey went to, I ended up being Tony's coach because of first of my really stubbornness to continuously grow and get my answers, like what the coaching is, what the high quality service for the clients is, but also at the same time continuously believing that there are opportunities and looking for the opportunities. And whenever the opportunities come, don't take it for granted. I was diving deeply. It was a process filled with huge challenges, and it was worth it. Like it was really worth it. After those few months, I came as a different person, and a different person that I'm really proud of. So it was really worth it. And it's like I was just whenever I was getting opportunity, I was not taking it for granted. After the first coaching, a certification, that I dived in and I understood like how powerful it is to really invest in yourself and go through it. So yeah, that's me. Like I joined Tony's team after, because I'm awesome. I'm a really badass coach, right? And that's like I'm talking with a humbleness also here, because it is a hell of the journey to develop your skills as a coach, but it's definitely worth it. And you know it. You're a badass coach too, so you know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are. Hmm. Yeah, this is interesting. Also, almost made me speechless.
I'm just really ridiculously stubborn and loyal and ethical. So but also at the same time, trusting the process. So
Mm-hmm.
like that's it. Your strength is, your weaknesses, and you go and you go for your goals. And continuously asking, is it everything that I give? Is there something more? and not being afraid to really challenge yourself, because it's not about hard work. Usually it's about heavy lifting. It's about really being to able to face your own shadows and overcome it, and not be, and it's kind of, like meeting it as our own friend, like old friend, not as an enemy. And with the curiosity, more you go through it, better it gets.
Yeah. Uh, so so we are talking about meeting your own shadows, and it gave me idea about this. For example, there's a lot of things that we could attach here, like this eating sugar has been one thing for me, and like we have been talking about it few weeks before that I quit eating sugar, and it has been difficult month, quite difficult month to be without it. And now for maybe 2 weeks, I have been eating sugar again, and it makes me laugh because it's this also is, I think it's part of the process, and I have been thinking of, while I have been falling into my old habits, I have been thinking of Tony, that he always tells that when he was younger, he jumped into the self development path, and after a few years, he fell back into his old habits and started to eat a lot of things, and gained a lot of weight, and he was just spending time in his apartment, and he also did that very intensively. And I've been thinking that, okay, now he's that guy who's the uh, self-development coach number one in the world, and he really did some intense self-sabotage work. So that has helped me to be more compassionate or loving towards myself during these difficult moments. But at the same time, I feel like, okay, even if Tony did that, he also quit that and changed his habits.
Mm.
So so that also had put me some pressure to not keep this track forever.
Hmm. It's like that's really true. Like I went through the same journey, and I had a really serial sugar detox, relapses, sugar detoxes, and so on, until understanding what balance means, and that's continuous, like continuous awareness development. So what helped for me, it's like first understanding that no one is perfect, and those stories of, like, for example, Tony is like made the choice and like went through the life continuously, and it's like it's not being true. It's like it really shows that everything is a journey, and we try to get stronger one step at a time and try to be gentle a bit with our step at a time. But when we make a decision, we go through it, right? So it's like they're saying, like, I say, if we go, we go. It's for that reason. That's like understanding how our brain works a bit, and how our brain works. It's like there are three things, like this reptilian, mammalian, and logical brain, that screws us up over, like in a different ways. And when you logically and decide, like, that's it's harmful to use too much sugar, like everything in balance is fine, but it's harmful for too much, and you don't like how it impacts your brain and your body and everything, and you logically understand that. But like logics can push you as far, until your
Hmm.
emotional brain is coming in, and it's like,
Hmm.
do you remember when you were 5 years old, and like, and mom bought you this ice cream, it's like super awesome, it's like it was a really hard day, to remember how good it feels. Do you
Yeah.
want to feel again? Let's go ice cream.
Hmm.
And that's like, and it's going to corrupt until you try, you again, as it was coaching, as we talked also about this like longer lasting coaching journey, bumping in different obstacles until you understand where is your breakthrough. It's the same here, learning what technique works for you. For me, my technique of tackling and coping with everything is education. So, for example, I need a reality check, continuous reality check into my face, understanding what really happens with me. So, what really helped me to get a breakthrough was reading few books and understanding, based on the science, how sugar impacts our brain and what's the consequence of overusing it. So, like there is a book called Brain Grain, and there is like Obesity Code, and like there are many different awesome books, like based on really scientific approach, showing that your brain, when you're using too much sugar, is being fried as an egg. Or that if your family has a higher possibility to develop diabetes too, you have 70% of more possibilities to develop diabetes too if you're overusing sugar. And diabetes 2 is called it's like direct 70% more if you develop diabetes 2, like there is a 70% more opportunity to develop Alzheimer's in your later stages of your life. And I was just like, first, I don't want to get diabetes. Two, like, and second one, I really don't want to get Alzheimer's. So, like, that was my pain point, leverage, understanding that I want to break that pattern, and I don't want to go there. So that was my leverage point, and it works still for me to continue my journey and never give up to this fully going crazy into ice creams and cakes and everything else. And through that, by the way, like the funny journey of this, whenever I did the sugar detox, there was this moment in my life that I was really strict in the beginning, and I said, I'm going to read all the labels in the shop. There is sugar in that label, I'm not going to buy that thing. So,
Hmm.
like 70% of the things were erased from my shopping list. That was intense. And I would be taking tuna with the tomato paste, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
Tuna,
did the same.
simple tuna, in its
Hmm.
own juice. Right. So but it helped because after some weeks, after a few months, I developed a habit of forgetting to want sugar. And that was, if I would be interesting in something, I would be tasting it. But I had no this craving. I see something sweet, I need to take it. That was not anymore there. Like, it's more about curiosity. That looks nice. Like, shall we have a look? What's that? And usually it was disappointment of the taste blandness that I was like, meh.
Hmm. Yeah, I had the same. And during our boys, our newborn son's
Mhm.
baptism, my sister had made a carrot cake, and that was the moment I stepped back. And it's also been a little bit same like for you. I was reading all the labels from the store, and if there was sugar, I didn't buy it and I didn't eat it. And now I think I have found better balance with it,
Mhm.
and I have more healthy way to approach it.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% on or off. So I think it's better like this.
It's all about playing with your brain and having some fun with that, and noticing when
Mm,
it's like, what do you really want and like. And for example, through my journey, I realized, and I got the clarity why I felt so bad after eating cakes all the time. Like, I realized I really don't like cakes. Like, that's not my thing. I don't like cakes, like I was felt pressured like all the time that, in a social environment you need to eat cake. I
mm,
don't like it. And for me, it's rather like, if I want to indulge in something, it's going to be ice cream, it's going to be creme brulee, it's going to be panna cotta, it's going to be something creamy and something like in a different consistency, but I'm not going to eat a cake. That was
mm-hmm,
my discovery, like when we are cleaning ourselves up, we can create those decisions like, what do I really enjoy, and rather would be
mm-hmm.
eating.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I also when we started our cooperation year ago, what I wanted was I really wanted to know the priorities in my life. I
Hmm.
really wanted to make priorities clear, and I wasn't sure if my priorities were right or were they heading me into the direction I really want to go. I wasn't sure, and that has been many times in my life. I had been concerned that am I now too much focused on my business and forgetting the most important thing in my life, which is my health and my family, and the
Yeah.
business is maybe the third
Hmm.
as in importance list. And that has been a concern for me. And I wanted, at the beginning, I really wanted to make it clear that what is the most important thing for me,
Hmm.
and am I focused enough on it. And during this year, I have I have gained one of the biggest dreams I've had in last few years. I have become a father, and I think that's the most precious and the most valuable thing that has happened for me during this last year. And I can't give I can't give 100% like 100%, mm, how do you say it? I don't 100, yeah. You have been my coach, and I it's difficult to say that how much of my happenings in my life has been because of I have hired a coach or not. It's impossible to say that how much hiring a coach has affected to someone's life. But this goal has been in my life many years, and after hiring you and working with you, uh, something just has happened, and this the most important goal and dream in my life has become true. And
Mhm.
I don't know if that hiring you has had any impact for things to for me to grow and the things to happen the way they have happened. It has been worth it.
So, like, there is this beautiful saying of we create our stories that gives us as a meaning. And, everything that we are creating is our own stories. And
Hmm.
our brain loves stories, our brain loves entertainment. So that's why it's creating. And knowing that knowledge and taking ownership of that knowledge that everything is a made up stuff and it's created, you can create your own story and meaning about your son's birth. And
Hmm.
repeating it enough times, that's going to be you. Like, no one knows what's real and what's not. It's everything is a perception in the end, nothing is a fact.
Mm.
So, like, that's what we are living in a coaching world. Like, it's like everything is a perception, and that's a power and a challenge to take it in. So, everything is a made up stuff. Like, all the story is a
Hmm.
story. And if everything is a story, like, why don't we create this awesome story about 2023 and 24 being a life-changing years of Panu, that like few decisions made it happen, that the son was born, and there was like it's like a big shift in the personality and in approaches. And somewhere 20 years after, Panu is going to tell this awesome story for his son about how he was
Hmm.
born, and like what a beautiful growth journey it was for him to receive that gift of life. Like, you create
Hmm.
your own story, create a good one.
Yeah, that's true, and that has also been little bit of a difficulty um, for a marketing aspect as a
Hmm.
coach. When we are when some of my clients are getting some results from after hiring me, their lives has taken huge steps towards their goals and dreams. And it's very questionable that how big has been the impact of our cooperation for the whole uh, con for the whole yeah, for the whole.
So what's like that's a good question, again, coming with the stories, like it's like,
Hmm.
what story would serve you most for your own profession and to build up, the stories in your profession, you create that story.
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling that my clients has been telling that after hiring me, their lives has
Mhm.
very often taken huge steps. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe there's some magic, but that has happened. I don't know.
It's like not everything needs to be explained, but we see the change and we are celebrating the change, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more impacted, sometimes it's less. But we are, as human beings, we are social beings. So meaning that we need some other people around at least once in a while to understand that we are sane and to understand that we can achieve something. So, so yes, coaching does a really huge impact. It's like it allows to get clarity into the big mass of thoughts and doubts and uncertainty. It brings a level of certainty, level of clarity. into the path and supports you into making decisions. And what's most important, I think, is for you to understand that you're sane, that there is not something insanity, especially with lots of noises around. And it's like there is a support, but there is a criticism, and there are people shouting like that's no sense, and then there's another person like
Mm-hmm.
you're awesome, and you're getting lost. And again, we like drama, we like soap operas as like in our brain, so we usually focus on the bad stuff and get lost in in those doubts of what if I'm phony, like what if I just I'm fake, what I'm doing doesn't matter. But then even if the facts being thrown into your face that you're awesome and you're really supporting people and becoming stronger and living their dreams, still there is this doubt, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not good
Mm-hmm.
enough, like no one loves me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because of that soap opera in our head. And but when we understand it, it's like that's let that little mind, we can face it. And then we say like, hey, hello, like I thank you, it's a protective mechanism coming somewhere whenever you needed me, whenever I needed you, but thank you, that's okay. I got this. I got this time. And I believe that I'm good. And it's everything is protective mechanisms. Everything is just like mechanisms coming from our childhood, from our youth, when we are developing or facing usually small challenges, little personality, big things developed, and uh,
Mm-hmm.
and those protective mechanisms are dragging with us throughout the life. Some of us we are leaving behind, and some of them are like really staying with us for a while and getting stronger and stronger. And then at some point we try to break through, and we don't understand what's happening there. And that's just a little protective mechanism, little mind is just trying to protect us from something that it doesn't need to protect us anymore. And facing that and really facing this, like there are many different ways how to say it's little mind. There is an archetype, there is a little part of you, like there's a kind of archetype protecting you, the part of your personality, part of your mind, you name it. There are many different approaches how to call it. But all in all, you try to protect from yourself where you want to go. And whenever you realize that, you can break through. Okay, you have a conversation with yourself like, thank you, like for helping me, I appreciate that. But like it's okay, it's okay. I got this.
Mm-hmm. Uh, hmm. It feels like a spiritual journey, like Tony says that business is a spiritual
Hmm.
game. It feels really like a spiritual journey that we need someone to our life to believe in ourselves, and
Yep.
coach is someone who is in our life, and they always wants best for us, because our results in our life are the results of the coach.
Yep.
And still, when we hire a coach, the one person we need to trust ourselves is inside of us.
Yep.
So the main person and the really the only one that matters is that we believe in ourselves.
Hmm.
But still, it all starts, for example, from Tony. It started from Tony making this mm, a become unshakable challenge, that he does it free because he believed, for example, that I am
Hmm.
better and I can do better than I have done before. And he made
Exactly.
this event, and that started my personal development journey. It had I had started it before, but that was some kind of a spring point for me again to leave old me behind and start a new life.
Hmm.
Okay, a few days ago I read a book from, I didn't read it whole, but Haruki Murakami
Hmm.
is a Japanese author. He wrote a book about, I don't know what is it in English, but it's about this bird. Okay, and there was this section about the man and the kid, about starting a new life. And the kid said to the man that uh, you will be punished for abandoning old you. And I felt there is some kind of a wisdom in that. If you abandon old you and you stop loving old you also little bit abandon yourself and you hate yourself, and that uh, that might be harmful for
Hmm.
your present and your future.
Yeah. Like Murakami is really really wise, and here like I totally agree. It's because this is what we talked about. It's about those mechanisms, those traits, and those all the coping mechanisms that's coming from the past that you try to forget and abandon and pretend they don't exist, but they're not worked out. And if you don't remember, if you don't cope with those things, if you don't face them and don't acknowledge them, they're going as any kind of experience. If it's not worked out, it's going to be bottled, it's going to be marinated, and it's going to explode at some time when it serves you more at least. So yeah,
Exactly,
that makes sense.
exactly, yeah. And it might sometimes be very difficult to uh, love old you. I think for me at least it has been.
It's like one step at a time. It's nothing happens throughout 1 minute or 1 day. Like, it's a journey. And that's why we are saying for whatever we are doing, it's a journey. Like hiking, that's why what I like living in Norway, because like hiking in the mountains is a metaphor. It's always about the journey, it's not about the peak, because like the most awesome views and experiences you challenges you experiences until the top is a resting point and a realization that there is a further journey after that, like there is some other journey. So that's top is a resting point. It's a reward and a resting point, which is just like few minutes comparing with all the journey and growth experience walking towards it.
I'm coming to Norway in August in
To hike a
north
bit.
in North Norway. We are going to fish some char and
Nice.
trout. Have
Nice.
you
That's
been there?
that's
Have
perfect
you
for
ever
me.
been there?
No, not there. It's going to be an amazing place. Got some hikes there. I know it's really, really beautiful. And you're going for the summer nights too. So it's going to be really crazy there.
Yeah, yeah, I have been there 2 times.
Wonderful. Ah, that's lovely. It's like really lovely to
Yeah,
hear.
it's really amazing. We are going with my friend. We used to work together before, and then now we are friends, and we have been there 2 times. We travel 14 hours in a car together to Norway, and then we spent there in the, I don't know what are you call those, mount maybe. No, they are not mountains. They are like more softer than mountains.
Mhm.
Those hills that there are in the northern Norway. Then we spent 5 days there fishing and just spending time in the nature. And we walk about 100 kilometers during that week,
Ni-
uh, and just spent time in very uh, basic with like basic life without any luxury, only we and nature. And that's, what could I say? That's very cleaning, purifying experience, and helps to understand all the beautiful things in here, uh, in home. Like we forget how wonderful thing shower and toilet and partner and friends and everything like that is, and cars and everything. Those are wonderful mm, innovations, but we forget how wonderful they are before we lose them.
That's why we always go to the simplicity to remind
Mm,
ourselves how happy we are in the end. It's like coming
mm.
back to the really basics.
And also this Tony's sentence that life happens for us, not to us. I think it's very powerful. From it's always, no matter what happens to you, you can
Mhm.
always think that, and you can keep that as a safe
Yeah.
harbor.
And when you repeat it yourself with a move, because like that's like that what why you're hearing so much in Tony Robbins world, like make your move, because physiology matters so much. That's like that 2 millimeter shift, and it's like everything is just like in a physiology, that our emotions are locked in a physiology based on experiences that we had, and that's why making a move is changing our emotional state, because we are unlocking exactly, yes, unlocking our blockage that was like somehow blocked with a different kind of emotion, or locked with a different kind of emotion. And that's like just unlocking and changing a perspective, and that's what we do, like not forgetting that physiology goes first all the time.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, were you last summer in the Unleashed Power Within? It was in Birmingham. I think
Or
it was in Birmingham.
no, not in Birmingham. I was in a virtual one in March.
Okay. You didn't participate virtual last summer.
I did participate in March and spring. For the virtual
Okay.
in summer, I could not make it, but I'm going to in
Okay.
September.
Yeah, I understand. It would have been fun to say that this who's this guy? This Russell Brand. Was it Russell
Branson?
Brand? No, no, Russell Brandt. This English man who has this big beard and long hair.
Hmm.
It would have been fun to talk about it if you were there, but you were not there. So I don't know if you have ever seen him talk in Tony's event.
What does he talk about?
No, he kept this. Mm, it was like a stand-up show about
Ah,
Tony and
fair enough.
Tony's world.
That's a new
And
thing. It's like that's
yeah, it
that's
was
a
so
new thing.
funny
Mhm.
because in the he was the last speaker of the day, maybe day three or day yeah maybe day three,
Day three. Day
and
three is awesome, because like
yeah I think
Tony's always bringing celebration points. So that was a comedy. Like there was a Will.i.am and there was Pitbull performing, because of that. So now you had a comedian. It's an exclusive one. Usually he brings concerts. That's a new experience.
yeah, it was very funny because he was joking about Tony and all the because he maybe he has been in Tony's event because he was so good. He knew all the things that okay, you can calm down, you can calm down. Tony is gone now. We don't have to say yes every time when something happens. Just chill out and enjoy your time. And it was like so much fun when he was little bit also roasting Tony that he's no he's there and in the back room doing push-ups and feeding some kids that maybe even not they are not even maybe hungry who is and yeah it was so fun. And I have also been thinking that when Tony is feeding 1 billion people in a year that were they were they all even hungry when he brings food to them and that's just like from the
It's like
humor
that's
point.
feeding America is a really beautiful foundation, because they're providing like he says meals, right? So they are literally providing meals for the families in need. And I saw a documentary about also feeding America. It's like about it was about poverty, and feeding America, supporting people in need who are like really maybe have even no possibility to eat one meal per day. So again, coming back towards the place where we really lucky and really in a beautiful place to be able to eat 2 3 times per day. But some people think about if they have enough, if enough meals enough for one day, one meal one day at a time,
Yeah, I
one.
know.
And that's like what he's doing. Like they're really literally they're coming to the places where people come for their coupons, for their food banks, and they're serving the meals that the families can take and enjoy.
Yeah, I know that's very beautiful thing but still there's this humorous side from it
Ah,
also
of course, we
in
always need to
terms of
laugh, because like
yeah.
everything is a humor, and this is the best tackling system, even in the darkest places of the time. Like humor is you can start laughing. This is why, like in this most saddest moment when we're losing our close family members, sometimes we are bursting in laugh, remembering funny moments, because humor is the best coping mechanism that you can find. It's like changing psychology and changing physiology at once, right? It's like deciding to be in a beautiful state even while being sad. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Milda.
Okay.
What do we invent next?
What do you invent next? I don't know. Like I always want to have a teleport to be wherever I want to in a moment of time.
Where would you teleport yourself?
Sometimes it's like, it's a simple thing. Sometimes I just wish to have this exact cup of coffee that I joined somewhere in the middle of Croatia, and sometimes I would like to meet a friend whom I miss dearly, and sometimes I just would like to get up fresh air in the top of the mountain. So like, like those small moments. I don't need the big moments. I really all about. Sometimes I just miss the moments or want to experience like those, like 1 minute or 2 minutes of something.
I think that's very beautiful thought. This inventing teleport, and mm, you said about mountains. So do you, and you were speaking about those earlier also. What has been your favorite mountain trip?
I'm not like a huge hiker. I like experiencing that, but it was mainly Norway that I did. I did Galdhøpiggen, so that's the highest peak in Norway. It's 2.5 kilometers. It's not too big. It's really nice. It's a really nice journey though, to go up to it, and some different ridges and beautiful mountains here. So
Can you do that in one day?
yeah, 9 hours.
Okay. How many hours?
9 hours.
9 hours. Back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. I have been in Nepal in a little bit less than 5 kilometers.
Oh wow! I have a good friend of mine, it's the same friend who was my first coach and who challenged me to think about Tony and resonate, and then I ended up in a Tony's world. He's a really awesome coach, but at the same time now he connected with his passion finally, and he's guiding tours to Nepal. He's Nepal guide.
Yeah. Yeah, that came to my mind when you said that you would teleport yourself to some mountain trip. That
To
was
Nepal too,
kind of a,
somewhere, yes. Like that. That's
yeah,
why not. It's a beauty. There, Nepal mountains are really old souls, and like that would be really
mhm.
nice to be there for a moment.
Yeah, yeah. For me, that was a life-changing experience. I
Mhm.
think I'm not sure if I have ever told you about it, but I moved to Nepal in 2000. No, I didn't move there. I just took a flight to Nepal in 2008, and before that, I had been quite depressed in my apartment and just living with very bad habits. And I traveled to Nepal with only one direction flight, and I went to mountains. I spent a month in a Nepal, and hmm, yeah, that was pretty amazing trip. From there, I went to India and Amsterdam, and in Amsterdam, I quit smoking weed and then came back to Finland. Now we are here.
Now we are here just because you experienced all the bumps and all the challenges in your life. We are here. Like everything happened
Hmm.
for the reason in the end, for you to become the version that you are.
Yeah, you got some text messages.
Did I?
I don't know. I thought I heard your phone
I was like, that doesn't matter.
vibrating.
Doesn't matter. Like there's nothing. Then we're focusing on one moment. There is nothing that you don't need to remind to focus on later on, right? It's like everything can wait.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's that's very actually important thing and subject, this being in the moment, and that's very important thing in coaching and uh, in bigger picture in life also.
Yeah.
Why is it
Mhm.
why is it so difficult?
Being in the moment, I think it's a skill because, like, again, the world is so big and so loud at the moment that we forget how to stop and breathe. And for me, to be in the moment is a really powerful skill that I developed. I used to be the person who would not be able to hold a conversation without spacing out and thinking about different scenarios and what I want to say in that exact moment, right? What would be the best thing? And this is how I grew up. That's who I was. But developed skill about really being in the moment helped me also. Like, this is why I'm a really 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 outstanding coach, is just because I am able for that exact moment to focus on my client. And as we talked about all those questions, like, what's that's a good question, I need to ask that question, and being still able to continue listening, where the conversation go, being having it in mind that most probably that question that I want to ask is not going to be applicable anymore, because the
Hmm.
journey of conversation is happening here, and the more powerful question might appear. And being able to let go, like, what's my mechanism? Usually I have my notebook, and that I became a really good taking notes on a touchpad. So, like, I make a note, I put the question, and then, like, when the time for this conversation and reflection back comes in, I can check in if that question is applicable anymore, or like maybe there is a different, like, sometimes I have a sequence of conversation happening on the notes, like some thoughts written down, and then, like, there are 10 questions, one after another coming in, and that's like, no one is nothing is making sense anymore, so except the last connecting points. But then you see, when you're making those notes, you see that there was this self reflection and self analysis happening by the person too, bringing one exactly to the moment where the one is, and that's like, and rest is not important anymore.
Yeah, just be in this moment. And
Hmm.
I think it's also when you focus on being in this moment, and when you really try to be in this moment, you are not in this moment, but when you are in this moment, that's
Yeah,
the answer.
yeah,
And that's sometimes so difficult. I think
exactly.
I think I think I think now we are here.
It's always like, but also understanding that sometimes our mind is just like all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So, and sometimes we space out, and it happens for the best. Like, this 100% focus doesn't exist. It's even, there's principle called Pareto that says that we are, as human beings, we function 20/80. We are, like, all is about 80%. So we are not being able to do anything 100%. It's rarely
Hmm.
happens, and that's okay. Like, understanding that 100% is not
Hmm.
working in our life anyways, that's a perfect thing to understand, because then, like, I'm not being able to focus 100%, but I will do my best. Like, I will make my 80 freaking percent, and that's what's the most important part, to understand that.
Ah, that's very powerful way to think of this, because also I've had very huge problems with this, and I've been very good, but I've had still problems because I've been aiming to the 110%, and if I don't go there, I'm disappointed that, oh, I didn't do the best way I could. But
Yeah,
it's like full of crap to think like that. But still, okay, I can still love that version of me. Okay.
exactly, exactly.
Panu who wanted to be 100%. That's okay. Yeah, very human.
You can do 100% of 80%, that's okay.
Mhm. Yes. How do you feel now?
Oh, I'm really enjoying the conversation. I'm having so much fun, and really, like, that's a good shenanigan, to sign up for, just to chat a bit and to get to share our wisdom, to share our stories, and like, to bring some insights for whoever needs that insight. Sometimes you don't know where the conversation goes, and who needs that conversation exactly. So, like, I'm really outstanding. I'm happy, and I'm really curious, because okay is not a feeling.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. I feel now happy, joyful, and grateful for being here with you.
Thank you. It's the same. It's a gift. It's like we are celebrating 1 year of partnership to change the world one human at a time.
Yeah. Often that happens during the conversations and during the mm, meeting with people that uh, we forget to be grateful for the moment.
Mm.
But in the end, I often find that this moment is is very special.
That moment, like this is what creates them. I think for me, at least, that what creates the most meaning. It's like, in the end, it doesn't matter what we share, it doesn't matter what we talk about. It's about the connection that we create and the level of resonance that we create together. That matters most.
And also, often I feel uncomfortable. How about you?
Uncomfortable of what?
Being in this moment. For example, during this conversation, also, I
Mm.
don't know, maybe it's because we are a little bit because we are doing this remotely and we're not in the same room. It's sometimes it causes a little bit uncomfortability in me. I don't know, to have a conversation
That's a
over
process. Like
internet.
I love again Tony's like what he's saying. He's saying that the people difference between people who are not doing something and doing something is like both of those are really scared. They're afraid, but the difference is doing and not doing. So the one who is not achieving things is not deciding, being afraid and not doing anything about it, and the one who is achieving is being freaked out as hell and still doing it. So
Mm,
that's a different feeling uncomfortable at the time. That's exactly what makes us grow. Like growth is not comfortable. Growth is at times painful, not comfortable at all. Like this is why pushing yourself, giving this question that throws you out of the comfort zone and you don't like it, that's most probably the question that you need to get most. It's the same here.
mm,
Like feeling uncomfortable is the moment of like opportunity to grow, opportunity to learn something, opportunity to think about, like, oh, just let it go.
mm. Yeah, and very often in the conversations, also like in this and in every conversation, especially when it's doing podcast,
Uh-huh.
uh, this also gives some uncomfortability because this goes to somewhere in the internet and people will see it. And yeah, I have this fear of judgment always uh,
I
when
understand.
I'm doing this. I always have it with me.
Remember three most common fears that human being has. I'm not good enough, no one loves me, I'm going to die alone.
Yeah.
Hmm. No one
Mhm.
loves me, that's a fear behind this, like, oh no, I will get criticized, like people don't love
Mm,
me.
yeah.
That's a fear. That's a fear, and the story created behind the fear. And when we are understanding, like, there are different people and reacting to the different videos with the different reasons, and that's okay. Every reaction is a reaction that that person needs to learn something from. It's not necessarily about you, it's not necessarily about me, it's not necessarily about that person. Like, who knows what happened at that moment that this person reacted in the way, and we just can take it as a learning, and that's it.
Yeah, and yeah, and also I have the fear of this. This is also quite often quite common subject I'm talking in my podcasts with guests,
Hmm.
that I speak about my fear of rejection and fear of judgment, and always the other one, the guest, says that you don't have to fear about that. And I feel even that the guest is a little bit frustrated of my fear of judgment or
So you're
I
afraid
don't
that
know.
your guest is not afraid that you're afraid. So I respect that. Like I have no
Yeah,
judgment.
yeah,
It's like I just wanted to make some joke about
yeah,
it, right? So it's like it's a loop. I was like, I'm afraid that
yeah,
my
yeah,
guest
yeah.
is judging me because I'm judging myself. And
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's exactly. And I haven't. I think I have never talked about this uh, in this level about this fear.
hmm,
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't. I don't know. I don't
all of
remember.
us have
But
this
I
fear, Panu. Like that's what
always. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we have it.
yeah. And always. I'm talking about the same subjects with my guests. I feel like a little bit also fear that. Uh, uh, fear that someone will say that Panu, you have Alzheimer's disease because you you are always telling the same stories and always speaking about the same subjects
But
and
that uh-huh. Tell me.
that's like what I have been noticing about, for example, Tony. He always speaks the same things, and I feel a little bit uh, entertained for that he always tells the same stories, he always speaks the same things, and he always repeats the same stuff. Maybe little bit, there's only little bit change every
Mm.
time in his shows and his life. I don't know that I have been thinking of that, uh, what does that kind of a life feels like, that you are always telling the same stories, but I don't know, I'm living it also, so I don't
That's a
know.
product of that's a beautiful beauty of the product, right? That you are like more times you are creating the same product that you're repeating, better it gets. So it's getting polished. It's kanai. It's
Mm,
continuous
that's true.
development. That it's a product that any kind of courses, any kind of training and experience that you are creating too. It's a product, and and it's like what it doesn't keeping in mind that if the product is really good, you just need to polish and update it. You don't need to reinvent, you don't need to create stories. And what
Hmm.
I like is being said that you can read so many books until you realize that stories start repeating and the facts start repeating, because we can't reinvent or invent things every freaking time. There is a limit of how many things exist in the world until we start noticing the patterns and the repetition, and understanding that you don't need to learn something new, but you need like that. The beauty of learning and growth is not about new things, it's about diving deeper and getting
Hmm.
better. It's like
That's
the
true.
same, like more books you read and you don't apply the knowledge, it means nothing. It's like what you are going to become is going to be annoyed because you start reading about the same stuff in the end. Like you will pick a new book, but it's going to repeat you the same thing. And you're just like, oh, I don't learn anything. But what this book more broadly is saying is like freaking start applying those things. If you read again about the same thing and you did nothing, maybe you did not apply it. So that's why that's the power of the product, understanding. It's like the same, like for me, a good coaching course, a good course is the same as a lipstick. It's a product.
Hmm.
A lipstick is always going to be the same, just going to be developed to be better. Training product or the course product is also the same, it's a product that's going to be have its own purpose, and it's going to be just better and better as long as
Yeah.
company decides to develop it. And that's how Tony talks. Like, this is why he tells the same story, because every story is a product and it's just being polished. More times passes by, better he gets in telling that story and creating a different kind of edges of that story, and is becoming better and better in adapting that story based on what the audience energy is, and telling the same one.
Yeah,
And
that's
also what
exactly
you're
true.
doing about the fear also is the same. You're talking about the fear with the different clients and having a look what they say about it, what's their perspective of it. It's kind of making a kind of a research about it, huh?
Hmm. Yeah, and there's so much these stories that it doesn't matter if you're telling the same stories over and over again. There's still so much stories, and there's so much people, and when someone has listened, for
Mm-hmm.
example, my podcasts enough times, maybe they will say that, okay, I have listened to this enough, he always tells the same stories, and then maybe they don't want to listen anymore, and that's okay. And maybe someone other one who finds my podcasts today, maybe they have never heard about it. For example, because I've never made English podcasts,
Yeah.
so I think I don't have to be so concerned about, okay, I'm telling the same stories again, because there might be even people who doesn't even understand
Mhm.
what I'm talking about here. For example, my Nepali story or something like that.
And don't forget repetitive power of repetitive immersion. Like more times, like it doesn't matter if you listen to the same thing or you go to the same course. The power of repetitive immersion is incredible, because then you're coming as we talked in the beginning. You change physically, you change spiritually, you change mentally every year. Like you go through the different journeys, right? And you grow. So who you were a year ago, you're different today. And that's why that if you would go to the same event already today, it would be the different insight comparing to what you take last time,
Hmm.
because you changed and you need a different perspective and different focus. So that's why repetitive immersion concept is brilliant. You go to the same thing, like further you go, you know what to expect, and still you know that unexpected is going to happen. The totally different thing is going to land on you in that process.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, exactly. And for example, when Tony is telling some story over and over again, the first time I heard about it, I didn't understand it at all. I didn't
Yeah.
understand it at all.
Hmm.
Second time, I didn't understand it at all. The third time maybe I understood. Okay, I have heard this before. And then the fourth time, maybe I understood. Aha, there might be something
Hmm.
into this story. And fifth time, okay, now I think I understand it. And yeah, it has to be told many, many, many times for you to start to understand what is the lesson of the story.
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if you're emotional processor, that's who I am. Like if I go to the event for the first time, I'm going to experience it through the emotions. So meaning that I will not remember what was happening there. And like I will remember it emotionally, so I will be emotionally impacted and changed. So that's how I will know like how awesome it was for me. Like I will remember some experiences, but don't ask me about concepts and content. I will not remember that. And like except if I look at the notes, but when I start repeating, it's more and more it's coming from this emotional leverage towards deeper level of learning, when I like cover the emotional one. And that's why for me emotional, like this repetitive immersion is such a beautiful concept, because I can come back to the place which was overwhelming as hell to start with. I loved it, enjoyed it, grew from it, but it was really overwhelming. And then I can I can put myself together and learn through it, so I can repeat it again.
Yeah, this brought my first Unleash the Power Within into my mind. It was very emotional, and I understood first. I think understood first time in my life that I'm pretty amazing. I can do
Mhm.
amazing things. I can do whatever I want, and and that nothing can stop me. And no matter what
Yeah.
anybody else says, and became into this very powerful state that when I'm talking about it now, I can feel it. I can touch
Uh-huh.
it, and I have forgotten it. I have missed it, and also when I faced it in the Unleash the Power Within, I felt like I've always been this. This is who I am. This is something that I have forgotten from me. I have been this
Mhm.
person. I have felt this. I have always felt that this is who I am, and I had forgotten it for many, many, many years. And I don't know how is it even possible to forget yourself for so many years. How is it possible?
Mhm. Exactly. That's why we grow. That's why we go through the events, just to remind ourselves that we already know everything.
Yeah.
That's why we have coaching. It's just like really, there's no rocket science. It's about to reconnect with ourselves and to learn again that we have everything and we know everything that we need already.
Yeah.
Simple. I know it's
That's why it's
simple,
called
annoyingly
power.
simple, but that's why we need people.
That's why it's called Unleash the Power Within, because the power is inside of us. And that was really the moment I understood why is this event called Unleash the Power Within. And oh my god, it's like you can't explain it after the event. When you try to explain it to someone that I really unleashed the power from inside of me, they're like, are you crazy, you need a doctor or something. They're like and it makes the whole process so funny because oh, no one
Yeah,
can
it's like, and
understand
that
it. I think it's yeah.
I was just like really, really laughing about. We talk about this event and talk about all the shenanigans, happening. It's like, and some people are listening. It's like, what the hell is that? Unleash your power within, or something. So whoever is listening, this, it's like, and if you start wondering about what's unleash your power, what's Tony Robbins, like, talk with Panu. Panu will help, and he will tell you more about it. So like that's a deal. Like, this is how I function. Also,
Mhm,
just like I'm saying, like, just talk with people and ask the questions without wondering, and then you get like really direct answers towards
mhm.
simple solutions. So like whoever is interested about like the weird things we talk about, just like to ask Panu. Panu will explain.
Yeah, I will explain that. While I was first time in Unleash the Power Within, the day two when Joseph McClendon III was giving his speech and preparing people for the day three, my neighbor came to knock my door and said that if you're not going to stop this, we're going to call the police. And it was like 8 p.m., so it was even not during the night. I was like, okay, the quiet time is starting from the 10 p.m., and they were like, yeah, but this kind of a noise you can't keep even during the day. And I was like, okay, maybe I will be a little bit more
We were
like
laughing at it, like those
yeah,
experiences
yeah,
allows like
less.
to use pillows in a way that like you grab the pillow and scream in a pillow, so it's like your neighbor doesn't
Mm,
complain, or you start the game. How many times can they call the police because you get your
mm.
breakthroughs?
Yeah, yeah, uh, but yeah, that was quite a powerful experience. It was a life changing event.
Wonderful. Like for me too, I just definitely resonate here. This is where my journey started, right? It's like as a new me, it was UPW. It was Unleash Your Power Within, somewhere in 2017 when I walked through the fire.
Yeah, it's pretty much for all people who jump in the Tony's world. The first step is unleash the power within, and I really understood that during the first unleash the power within, that it's really the first step. Like they said in the become unshakable challenge. They said this is the first step to Tony's world. Like this is the beginning. This is where all the starts. And that was, I didn't really understand it during the become unshakable challenge before I went to the unleash the power within, and I really understood. Okay, this is the first step for the self development and Tony's world. Just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Yes, the beginning. Exactly. Everything has a beginning. It's like with the curiosity. It's and everything rest is a journey.
Yeah, then you have business mastery and date with destiny, wealth mastery, life mastery, and
Second thing is like it's a
personal
representation
coaching.
of the journey of life. Further you go, more you dig. There is more place, and suddenly, if you would evaluate your any area of your life from 1 to 10, and you say like, oh, I am 5, I need to grow, and then you start growing in it, and you reach 9, and then when you reach 9, you suddenly realize it's 5 again. Why? Because you
Mm.
realize that there is more place to grow. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how it goes with every product, goes with every company, and how this goes with everything that happens. As long as we have a place to grow and continuously pivot and continuously get better, it's like a never ending journey. Like that peak, like you go to one and then realize there is another one there, like that you want to conquer. That's life.
Yes.
That's it.
What do you have in your schedule for today?
The schedule for today, it's really simple. I go after we have this wonderful talk. I'm going to have some shopping and then a few clients, and that's it.
I'm going to have chicken wings and ice cream, and in the evening, I'm going to spend time with our Lucas Alfred,
Nice.
our son.
Lucas Alfred.
Yeah.
Sweet. It's like enjoy those moments. Like they're growing so fast. I'm looking at my nieces and nephews. You know, my niece and nephews. Like they're like freaking. My older nephew. He is 15 years old. I don't know how fast. Like how did he grew up? I don't realize. I don't grasp. But he's 15 years old. He's my tiny 5 year old still. You know, like in my brain. And it's like the same with my niece. Like she's like 12 now, and it's like, oh damn, you know, like this is a proper teenager at the moment. Where did she,
Hmm.
you know, hide when she was growing? And my little nephew, my godson, he's 4 years old now, and he's like little personality himself. It's like what's happening. Value those moments. This is what I'm saying. Every freaking step, because like I notice without having my children, I notice how children that I love from my family grow fast. And for you, it's
Yeah,
even faster.
yeah, they do. And that's also something that it has been very difficult to stay in the moment with baby.
You do your
They
best, you
need,
know, like no one is perfect, and I think like that's the most important thing to realize, that no one is freaking perfect, and we try to like, and we judge ourselves. I'm not good parent enough. I'm just like, I'm not focusing enough. You just freaking do a best of you, but best you can, knowing that,
yeah.
you know, you will fuck up and sometimes, and that's
Mm.
okay. Like, but you just try to do your freaking best, and that's it.
Yeah, they need a lot of attention and
Mhm.
a lot of activity, and
Mhm.
I don't know if everyone needs, but at least our baby needs a lot of attention and a lot of action and a lot of love. And he doesn't let me to focus anything else but him. When we are together with him, his only focus is on me,
Yeah.
and only if I focus one moment to something else, he takes the focus to himself, and he
Mhm.
like he makes me to focus on himself like 110% all the time.
Uh-huh.
And if not, he will he will like he will make me. It's
And
he's
that's
very
normal, you know.
intense.
It's a stage that you need to go
Hmm.
through. Enjoy it as much as you can, and it's a stage that you go through.
Yeah, my American aunt Tabitha said me when I talk about this with her. She said that
Uh-huh.
um, he needs something from you, Panu. You have something
Mhm.
he needs, and yeah, I think that's nicely said.
So enjoy that time like dearly. It's like, and enjoy your weekend. You know, it's like it's gonna be fun.
Hmm. Yeah, and tomorrow we're going to spend 6 hours together when Evelina goes to work.
It's gonna be like, you know, like let's sleep together, let's wake up, let's eat together. Cheers. Potato mousse.
He only eats milk
Okay, like
during
not that.
this
Yeah, it's
this
like
day.
he's so small. He's not that stage yet.
Yeah, yeah. He's in a few days he's going to be 3 months.
Like it's like still few months until the solid, until the some kind of food starts. So yeah.
Yes.
So cheers, milk powder. Cheers, milk. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and the problem is also that he doesn't want to eat from the bottle. He also only wants to eat from his mother's breast. So that's a small problem. Maybe we have to go to her workplace to eat during the day.
A sightseeing tour.
Yeah, that's true. So that's not a
Yeah.
problem. That's opportunity to travel together to the center of the city.
Yeah. I need some ice cream on the way.
Yeah, that's also good, or even outstanding solution and mm, activity.
Exactly.
That's from the Tony's world. That concept of outstanding is pretty outstanding. I think it's fun and
Is
very
it not that 2 millimeter shift, right, from excellent to outstanding? That's like it's
mm,
this much. You need to try to really be more like this much.
yeah,
That's really
yeah, and
great.
all the
Mm.
prizes and all the really important results goes to the one who's outstanding, who's willing to do 2 millimeters more than anyone else.
Yeah, and sometimes we just like we give up like behind like 2 millimeters under, and so it's
Hmm.
like that's it. But it's exactly what we do. Even in the military, that's like there is this wolf track and everything. It's like survival camps, and they say that it's just they're pushing because they know that there is like whenever you think it's a limit, you can do at least 20% more.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Huh. And yeah, and that's also funny thing to balance between being outstanding and doing being stupid. It's thin line.
Oh well, yeah, it's like it's you come with the knowledge and trial, and then if you be stupid, you just learn from it, and you know
Mm.
the difference next time.
Yeah, yeah. Like going to the marathon, trying to be outstanding and break the world record. and
Right?
and
Without
then you
running before, without running experience before.
yeah, then you run 1 mile
Yeah.
and you're done. Okay, am I outstanding or am I stupid? That's a good question.
Right.
Sometimes happened, at least here. How
Happens
about
to
you?
everyone. Yeah. It's like sometimes just like the guy. Um, like for me, painting the walls, I decided like I can do it myself. Like it's an adventure without any practicing of painting the walls in the paint that I was painting. And then it's like after somewhere in the after 1 hour, it's like what the hell of like did I sign up for? It's like what I'm doing here. I don't know how it works. Yeah, it's like it's like one of those crazy, crazy funny things. Yeah, of course we all do because we can what more that we can, but sometimes we are overestimating our capabilities, and that's learning from doing that also and failing and learning from it. For me, it's like it's fun. It's like
Yeah, well, I was participating business mastery,
mhm,
and always in Tony's event they are said that okay, now just play full out and give
mhm,
your all, and you just make notes, and you when they say you stand up, and when you are raising the energy, you are trying to uh, outplay everyone else. And I was I was really doing that, and maybe during the day 4 or day 5 I was so exhausted. I
mhm.
just watched the videos from the sofa and uh, uh, poured ice cream from the can to myself, and I was like, oh, I was so done. And my legs were hurting and my whole body was hurting, and I think everyone, not everyone, but that
Mhm.
happens for many people during these events, that
Yeah.
they play themselves out. I think it's pretty funny also that these events, I think they are somehow made to make you exhausted.
Yeah, because like when you're exhausted physically, you have a more open mind. Like you have a less resilience to resist. And the idea
Hmm.
behind is a really to exhaust you. It's a simple like energize you to keep you up, to keep you awake, but at the same time it's to exhaust you, so you don't have a resilience to say that's bullshit, and to get up on the curiosity towards curiosity of
Hmm.
maybe there is something that I can learn from. So like you give up your resistance in one or another way.
Yeah, I really learned to use AI during the last event. There was this one
Yeah.
guy, I don't remember his name, but he was talking about that you should use AI every day, and I have been using
Mhm.
it quite a lot. How about you? Do you use AI?
I'm not really using a lot of it. But I don't have also a need to use it for moments. Like whenever I need it, I will pick it up.
Hmm.
But now it's like I have a little. I use it quite little.
Okay, I'm also a
But
little
I
bit.
see the value especially for the ideas development when you're developing your business. It's like really valuable.
I'm a little bit also afraid of AI because it's like huge thing and it's so powerful.
Mm.
Are you?
I don't know. Like I don't think too much about it yet, so I don't have opinion here.
Okay.
Like really, I haven't. I was not overthinking about it too much. I'm not really into the topic, so so for me, it's something that I'm still not really aware. Like if I have some kind of opinion or side on it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but uh, what I am thinking is that very soon, for example, in this kind of conversations, we don't know if we are talking with AI or not. I think it doesn't take so
Hmm.
much time that we don't even know if I'm talking with AI or not.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
so somehow it feels a little bit of a that is there then after a few days if their AI is talking together making this podcast that there's not even human doing this AI is talking together and that's
So
who's
that's
gonna
why,
is it AI who's going to watch it then?
yeah. So most probably that's why we're going to come back to the live events to connect more with the live audiences.
Mm, yeah, that's something that AI can't yet do. AI can't yeah that's something that it can't do yet.
Yeah.
But that technology is also developing quite fast. This
Mhm.
robot, think about robot technology, robot that is AI driven. How can you even soon know that if someone is a person or an AI? This is also quite interesting for me. Yeah. Oh my
Hmm.
god. This is actually really scary thought.
And that's a really good conversation to pick. Like, like this is a good challenge to have a look like who could be your next speaker about bringing up the AI topic. Maybe there's someone who's working in it
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
could
that's true.
for
But
your
yeah,
podcast with
yeah,
some.
yeah, yeah. That's really something to be a little bit concerned about. That. Okay. Yeah, I haven't thought about it like this before. Also, almost gives me goosebumps to think of it.
See, it's gonna clear up in the times. Like I am usually my personality is the way that I'm I am curious, but I try not to over analyze and be too concerned about what's developing because then I'm going to be like, I can't control it. That's a thing that I can't control what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. And rather I'm aware about it. I don't focus on it on a purpose. It's like
Hmm.
because like I can't control it. I don't have any kind of control on it.
Me neither, but I think it's going to change the world
Yeah.
quite a
And
lot.
then we will live in a changed world and we'll have a look how it goes.
Hmm. And I think it's bigger than internet.
Mm. Yeah. It's like the next internet.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know how can we humans survive with it, or will it want to take control over the world? I want,
We will see.
yeah,
We will see if we're creating Terminator or we are not creating a Terminator. So we'll see.
yeah. That's very interesting subject. I don't know. Do you know someone who would be uh, the guest to talk about it with?
I have quite a good friend I can ask. He's developing AI, so
Hmm.
maybe AI in education. He's doing so. I can ask if he would be interested in having a chat if you want to.
Yeah, yeah. That would be very mm, interesting thing to talk in the next
Mhm.
podcast show.
That's a deal.
Are we done for today?
I think we're done for today. Like we had lots of topics, we had lots of thoughts to share. Like we have work to do now with this audio.
Hmm.
How are you with this? Like, do you happy and content with the conversation?
Yeah, yeah. I feel happy now.
Good. So, Pano, you go enjoy time with the family, okay? Like, it's going to be
Hmm.
awesome weekend.
Yeah. Thank you, Milda, so much. I will put this recording off, and if
Hmm.
you stay for a little bit moment
Yeah, of course.
on the line, so we can tie, I don't know, ropes together.